Good day and welcome to episode 6 of the Court of Public Opinion. We keep going right off where we left off in the last episode. Easy for me, where there was the son Jonathan, who was kind of a goofy guy. Let's see what's in store for us this time. Am I the asshole for tricking my 25-year-old daughter? No, sorry. Whoa. I read this completely wrong. Completely. Oh, no. This is like, I've seen this TikTok. This has to be fake. I've seen this TikTok before. And it's already deleted, bro. So you could get drunk with your friends. That's kind of... I think this is... I've seen the TikTok. I love these posts because 6 years ago, there was no LLMs running rampant on the internet. So you know these are genuine. This is how you will know the age before, like, the AI infested internet is by looking at when things were posted. And if they're before 2024, then you can assume that they're actually written by humans. That's the kind of crazy world we live in now. And it'll be the pre-AI internet. And it'll be like, oh my God, where stuff was actually real. Anyway, rant over. Am I the asshole? I called someone a dumbass for taking surf lessons when he can't swim, bruh. Okay, this seems like a nice light-hearted one. I teach surf lessons. Okay, there's a teacher. I teach surf lessons. And we had a new set of people come in, and when we got in the water, he starts freaking out, wailing and screaming and holding onto the board. I asked him what's wrong, and he told me he can't swim. I thought this was some joke, so I said, haha, very funny. Now paddle. And again, he's freaking out and just hanging onto the board, not swimming or anything. That's when I found out he can't swim, and he was serious. I drag him to shore, and he asks if he can just lay on the board, and I can just bring him over so he can wait for a wave. I was pissed that I'm wasting my time on this when I had a class to teach. Listen, dumbass. Sorry, I think this is Australia probably since... listen, dumbass. You need to know how to swim to go surfing, just like you need to know how to swim for water polo, scuba diving, and many other activities. If you really can't swim, then go away. I'm done wasting my time here. How was that? He leaves, and there was a massive argument that I can hear from the beach where he's yelling at our staff, demanding a refund and other shit. He later writes really bad reviews about us on Yelp, saying, very unprofessional, unwilling to assist me in learning how to surf, which our staff responded back with, sir, you didn't know how to swim. That's a prerequisite to surfing. Something that should be self-evident. And that's that. I don't think this story goes much further than this. The person's not the asshole. Even if they were, they got what they deserve, which is like, okay, a bad Yelp review for calling their customer a dumbass, which you can then reply to on Yelp and say, sir, didn't know how to swim and it's a prerequisite and you're basically stupid. Which, if anything, it's good marketing on Yelp. Because it at least made this story. You should have plugged in your surfing lessons company here. Not the asshole. This man could have gotten himself killed or someone else. Would have been incredibly dangerous to allow him to continue. His suggestions were dumb. It's pretty sad that one wouldn't assume you would need to know how to swim to go into the ocean. That's how people drown. Very good. Very good. Yeah, that's exactly that. I don't think there's more. I took surfing lessons. I mean, I grew up swimming and in the water. Literally, I was one of those babies that get dunked into the pool when, like, before they're 1 year old, just to have like my parents. Those were my parents. They would, like, my dad, bless my father, he would just grab me and like kind of like float me in the water to see how I did, and I was just there like taking big gulps of chlorine water, but it meant that I'd always known how to swim. And then I took surfing lessons, and I don't see how one can drown, but that obviously is my aquatic baby perspective on the thing. Because if you're going to like somewhere where it's shallow and you're taking the waves that have already broken, which is what you should do at the beginning when you're learning to surf, to learn to stand up, then it's like chilling, right? You just, learn to stand up. It's not very deep water. You can literally stand. But I have heard, and I think I do understand that when you can't swim, you have a big fear of water, which could cause you to drown, even if you could just literally like stand up straight and your head would be above the water. But that's just me. All right, nice one. This one's been deleted. Am I the asshole for refusing to clean the otter habitat in our zoo every day for a pregnant co-worker? Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The red label of asshole is present. Let's see. Yeah. I, 22M, and this co-worker... you know when they're 22. Never mind. I, 22M, and this co-worker just recently got hired as first-time zookeepers in the past couple months. She seemed nice enough when I met her, and we didn't talk a whole lot as our work didn't overlap. She's being trained on small mammals, whereas I'm a swing keeper, basically a junior keeper who fills in as an assistant as needed. Okay, I thought it was going to be the monkeys, but never mind. But a couple weeks ago, she told me that she needs help cleaning the otter dens and wants me to do it every day for the foreseeable future instead of her, which, from my limited experience in that enclosure, was not news I was thrilled to hear. I asked her why I'd need to do that every day. That's part of her job. She told me that she's pregnant and that the smell in there is making her sick. I said they're otters. That smell makes everyone feel sick, but she insisted. I said no. Why should I have to spend half an hour in there every single day on top of everything else I already have to do? But she got mad and I reluctantly gave it a go that day. It was a miserable 30 minutes. The next day she insisted again, but I put my foot down. I told her I hate the otter smell too, and I had other things to do besides do her job for her. I said I'd be willing to help with the cleaning for any other small mammals, but not the otters. But she insisted I help with the otters and said I was being insensitive to her needs. In the end, we got in a bit of a fight and our superior got involved and basically took her aside and asked me if I could spare some time each day to clean the otter dens, and that this was part of giving reasonable accommodation for her pregnancy, which I just didn't think was fair. And now the co-worker won't speak to me. Am I the asshole? Yes. Learn the art of negotiation. Maybe, yes, when girls are pregnant, I suppose, I'm not a girl and will never be pregnant, I think, you are sensitive to certain smells that make you more sick than other people. This makes sense. So just negotiate, it sucks for you, it sucks more for her probably. So, maybe she can save some time from your thing by doing something that you would otherwise do. Maybe it's more pleasant work that she can do, but that way you're not working more time, and maybe you can find something that it's some agreement. Maybe she treats you out for dinner on Fridays if you clean the otter cage every day, some kind of negotiation. You didn't learn the art of negotiation, and so the supervisor came in and said, you shut up and do it, and so you lost. Yeah. Too long didn't read. Pregnant co-worker wants me to clean the otter dens for her every day because these things are... Anyway, yeah, I don't need to read the TRDR. I read the full length. Did read. Let's see what the commenters are saying, and would I hire them for my jury? You're the asshole. 10-year zookeeper here working otters for 5. Damn, we have a specialist. 1 year of which I was pregnant. Made an account just to tell you how much of an asshole you are. If your duties as a swing keeper include assisting senior keepers, then this is your job. But she isn't a senior keeper. They started at the same time anyway. Full stop. If you didn't have time, then you need to loop in your supervisor politely and professionally. All the animals stink in one way or another. Just wait until a herd of large hoof stock animals has diarrhea all over their building. If you can't handle that, then you got into the wrong career. And frankly, you need an attitude adjustment. If you were an intern under me and refused to do any work for any reason other than physical inability, I'd make sure my bosses knew about it, and any full-time opening could go to someone who understood what the job entailed and wouldn't whine about having to do it. Damn, the specialist has spoken. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the hierarchies of zoos. They seem rather complex. But I do think they're not senior, right? Just they started at the same time, just recently got hired, so they both got hired at the same time, so it's not senior. That doesn't change anything, obviously, in this one. But yeah. Info. Wouldn't this be a part of your job, filling in as needed? I'm a tad confused. You're the asshole. It's your job. Either do it or quit. Okay, that's very clear cut. Yeah. Yeah, if you had done it and been nice, chances are she would have like baked you a thank you cake or like given you something as a thanks. Like taking you out, I don't know, something. Like if you were just nice. Just be nice to other people and they'll be nice back. I don't think it gets more complicated than this. Anyway. Am I the asshole if I lay off an employee who has a sick daughter when our work pays for our health insurance? Uh-oh. Don't talk to me about insurances unless you want an earful. Oh, big red label for him. I like how he's broken it down into one sentence paragraphs, of which there are like 50. So, am I the asshole if I lay off an employee who has a sick daughter when our work pays for our health insurance? Got pulled into my office, my boss's office, right when I got in. Turns out our company is laying off a bunch of people. Since I'm in charge of a team of 5 people, myself included, I'm in charge of myself. Wow. So you're in charge of a team of 4 people. I had to choose the 2 people who were getting laid off. I have to make this choice by 3 p.m. and tell HR so they can all get paperwork and stuff done before the end of the day. One is a no-brainer. She just started working here a month ago and is less experienced than everyone else. I know he says it's so tough and it's very difficult. When your boss comes and tells you, hey, you have to lay off half of your team. Holy cow. The second choice is harder. The guy I'm thinking of has to leave early a lot now because his daughter is sick and in the hospital. Because of her illness, he is also much less focused and gets behind on his work. Oh no. I told him I understand he's going through a rough time now, but that I needed him to focus and to not leave work early as much anymore. Tell me this is an American company without telling me this is an American company. But it's not easy to say no in the moment when he's rushing out the door because his daughter just had a medical complication and he needs to be there. So I didn't push the issue anymore. We were able to manage our workload with the people we had, and well, family is important. But if I lay off another employee instead of him, that just leaves me with 2 employees and 2 employees and a guy that's not always there. You're including yourself in your 2 employees. I love making your team seem bigger than it is by 25%. Okay. I don't think we would be able to stay on our tight schedule, especially since I often need people to work overtime and late into the night. If we don't get our work done on time, I know all the blame is going to be on me. And with them laying people off, it doesn't seem like a good idea. Look like I'm underperforming compared to everyone else. Still, I know he probably needs the job, and since our work pays for our insurance, his daughter's treatment might be affected. I don't know how it works exactly, but it's probably not good. Then be a decent human being. Edit. Ask HR about FMLA. They said it didn't apply since we've never had over 50 employees. Left them a message about some other benefits stuff you guys mentioned. Waiting to hear back. Damn. Oh, yeah, okay. So the first comment says, you should lay him off. Do him a favor, because I personally wouldn't want to work for a company like yours where you think the father should care more about his performance than his child's life. I wish every person on earth felt like this. Fuck you and fuck your company. Then again, I bet your boss will get a bonus for letting people go and still expecting all of you to keep doing the same amount of work. Yep. This person is the asshole. And that's it. And I couldn't agree more with the first commenter. Yeah. He's getting a bunch of Reddit trophies. So he must be right. You do what you think you need to do. but I think you're the asshole. The child didn't ask to get sick. She's been hospitalized and has complications. Dad is clearly worried about his daughter and having trouble with that. His performance based on an emergency situation where it sounds like you're basically choosing between your employee's daughter's health and your manager's bonus, and maybe your bonus. I think it's obvious. This person is terrible. This company is terrible. And I hate the world a little bit more after reading this. Great. Oh, is this series gonna make me depressed? Am I the asshole for firing a female employee who posts provocative underwear pictures on her Instagram? Now, this is more my kind of post. I, M29, run a successful event planning business that I started with my ex-wife about 7 years ago. So not that successful then. When my ex-wife and I divorced, she also divorced the business. And I then employed about 9 people to work for me. We now have offices and we have a tight group of employees who are almost like a family to me now. Oh, well, that's nice. About 6 months ago, one of my employees told me she was pregnant and as a result was going to leave the business to be a full-time stay-at-home mum. I had no issue with this, but it meant I had to find a new employee to take her place. I interviewed a lot of people before finding Olivia, who I went on to employ. You're cracking me up, Olivia. Olivia has lots of experience and is absolutely fantastic at her job. The clients love her and she's really in tune with what the client's needs and desires are. Love to hear it. The nature of our work is to build a rapport with our clients, which sometimes means social media is added by clients. Yes. For my other employees, this has never been an issue. They post respectable pictures of their family. Oh no. Or traveling, it's never been a cause for concern. Olivia, on the other hand, thinks herself as a bit of an amateur underwear model and posts these pictures on her Instagram in very provocative poses. Usually I wouldn't have an issue with this, but I don't want clients seeing them and immediately looking down on my business. Why do you think her clients are so happy? I gave Olivia a warning about a month after she started working for me and told her to stop posting pictures like that, as it was bad for the image of the company. She said okay, and for a while she did, but then after a month she started posting them again, even more than she did before. When quarantine began, we were extremely busy as a lot of clients were calling worried their events were going to be cancelled, and during this time Olivia was posting a provocative picture once every few days. Out of pure stress, I fired her. What? And told her I didn't want her to work for me anymore, and she said she was going to sue me for discrimination, and I claimed I was being sexist, which I definitely wasn't. The rest of my employees are threatening to leave in solidarity with Olivia. Yes, it's so clear, bro. The owner should have done some background check. Absolutely, you should have done some background check. And why do you think that her clients are happy with her? Also, like, the clients are so happy with her that they're threatening to leave. Oh no, the rest of the employees are threatening to leave in solidarity with Olivia. Yeah, good. Am I the asshole? Yes. Why do you care? Maybe Olivia is trying to become an influencer online. That's not up to you. So yeah, you're the asshole. If you want them to share their social media, you should have them create work accounts. So true. Yeah. You're the asshole. Not sure why you're having clients and employees on social media, but it's her platform, not your business. Provide a work account or something. Literally. Yeah, I think pretty clear cut. It's pretty clear cut. You should not expect your employees to use their private social media accounts to work. That's what LinkedIn is for. Is she posting underwear pictures on LinkedIn? I hope not. If she is, I hope it's under her personal company's account, in which case she needs to, file for tax declaration that she is working and also has a company and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah. Good post, asshole. Next. Am I the asshole for cancelling? Am I the asshole for cancelling an Uber Eats order after it was at my door because the driver was being difficult? Ooh, I love a little Uber Eats dilemma. I, 19M, asshole. Boom! I love to see it. No, I'm kidding. There's good 19-year-olds out there, I'm sure. I, 19M, ordered McDonald's through Uber Eats yesterday. It was processed and the driver was on the way to my house. As it got on my street, I noticed that the automatic location thingy accidentally put the house right next to mine. So I messaged the Uber driver to correct the mistake. She must have not seen it in time because she was walking up to the other house. Okay. I opened my door and called her to let her know that it was my house. She stood there for like 3 minutes telling me that it was for the house next over, and I told her that it was a mistake and the wrong address was put in. This has happened to me where I put in the wrong address, but it's him. He put the wrong address. Anyway, I put in the wrong address, right? And I could see the Uber driver or the Uber Eats cyclist across the street, and I was like, hey, it's me. What happened, and what should normally happen, is Uber driver's like, wait, are you sure? But it said this, and I show them on the app, right? You can just show them the address and everything. You can see everything. So yeah. It's that simple. Anyway, she then cautiously walked over to her car while keeping her eyes on me to check her phone. Yeah, good. There was someone else in that car who I could only assume was her daughter. They were whispering to each other for like 5 more minutes. They were talking in a foreign language. Uh-oh. Asshole. But from the sound of it, her daughter seemed really nervous for whatever reason. Then she started walking up to my door sideways so that the shoulder was pointing towards me very slowly. The whole time she was creeping up to my door, her daughter was calling out to her mum every time she took 4 steps. Okay, I get the safety is important, but I told her like 5,000 times to just check her phone for the message that I sent to her phone to confirm that it was the wrong house. When she got to my door, she handed me the bag, but then pulled it back and said, wait, can you tell me the confirmation code or something like that? I asked her what a confirmation code was, and she said, you tell me. There's not necessarily a confirmation code. I then asked her where it was, and she said it was on the phone. I asked her where again, and she said, in the app. I told her I'd send her another message from my phone since we obviously both didn't know where the confirmation code was. She then told me no, and that she needed to see what the confirmation code was. The whole time this was going on, her daughter was pleading with her mum to come back to the car, and finally I just said to keep the fucking food and slammed the door. I called the Uber helpline to get a refund and tell them about the ordeal. My girlfriend said I was being an asshole to that lady since it wasn't her fault that the address registered was the wrong address. Yeah. She also said I cost the lady gas and the 2 separate companies money because I cancelled my order. I can understand that, but the whole situation took like 30 effing minutes on top of waiting for the food to be prepared and her trip over, and I wasn't going to wait any longer for cold food. Am I the asshole? I mean, pretty sus behavior from the Uber person. Like, okay, not everyone out there is a serial killer. Although maybe this is like US pimp. Not everyone is armed. Like, if there's no one else coming out for 30 minutes, then like, just give the damn food, man. Just give the damn food. Also, what's with the daughter? It is sus. I mean, I think OP, I'm gonna say, could be more understanding. Maybe a little bit more empathetic, and freaking find the confirmation code is not that hard. Just look at it in the app on the phone, or just hand the phone, huh? Well, everyone's really paranoid. If you think they shouldn't be so paranoid, just hand them your phone with the app open, and that's it. What about that? So yeah, told them about the. Geez, dude, are you aware of what's going on in the world right now? I really hope you're feeling okay after surviving this ordeal, though. You're the asshole, mostly for how you handled the situation. She could have been a little more cooperative, but I get the feeling you started out being passive aggressive. They're doing their job in a really difficult time. Learn to cook. Learn to cook, bro. Yeah, And this is OP posting. So every time you read one of these, you need to assume that they're writing it in a way that puts them in their best light, right? Because it's OP writing. You want people to agree and validate you, maybe, on Reddit, I guess. So it does sound like they're an asshole. But it's pretty weird behavior. All around weird. But yeah. Okay. Due to lack of information, I'm gonna label this man an asshole. How about that? Alright. Next. I'm the asshole for telling my sister the only reason her boyfriend is with her is because of his fetish. Now we're talking. And they're not an asshole. Let's go. Oh man. Alright. My sister, 25F, and I, 22F, grew up in the deep south. My dad is almost 400 pounds and my mom is close. I grew up as a fat kid. However, when I started college and moved to a very fitness friendly state, Colorado, I lost a lot of weight. I started to care more about my looks. I became a personal trainer last year. Good on you, man. And got a rhinoplasty recently to fix my crooked humped nose. Okay. My sister decided to move up with me. My sister was not very approving of my weight loss, nor was she happy I did a lot to change my appearance. While we get along wonderfully, most of the time we still have fights about her thinking I'm vain. My sister's weight is around 300 pounds. I have offered her help. However, she just tells me life isn't about looks. Frankly, I don't care what she looks like. I just want her to be healthy and confident. My sister sometimes acts out at me a lot, especially when it comes to guys. When we have gone to bars, people can be cruel, saying, "What, your sisters couldn't tell?" Or outwardly paying more attention to me. I defend her when I see it, but it still hurts her confidence. She has cried to me multiple times about dating, asking why can't anyone accept her for who she is. In January, my boyfriend of 2 years cheated on me. My sister told me that maybe he left me because I was too vain and high maintenance. Your sister's an asshole. I ignored her. Around the time of the breakup, she started dating a guy. I was happy for her. However, the guy gave off some weird vibes. The way he looked at my sister when she ate, and making plans when my sister and I are supposed to do healthy activities. Since my sister has gained a massive amount of weight and has become more hostile towards me. Her boyfriend buys her large quantities of unhealthy food and insists that she needs to eat more. He is weirdly touchy with her and often dismisses things she says. They don't talk and just watch TV. She hasn't met his friends or family yet also. She complains how he never posts about her on social media. About a month ago, I had a friend over. This friend is interested in fetishes, and they recognize my sister's boyfriend from a feeder site. I didn't want to bring it up with my sis because that didn't seem like it was my place, but it worried me greatly. I don't know if I want to keep reading, to be honest. I recently downloaded multiple dating apps. My sister, like any sister, wants to see who I matched with. I showed her and she immediately says the only reason I got these matches is because I'm shallow. She then told me I might be more successful if I stop worrying so much about my looks, and said that her boyfriend loves her for her personality, not her looks. And girls who look really good get men who want them just for their looks. This angered me to the point where I told my sis that her boyfriend is a feeder and he doesn't love her. If he didn't, he would put her health over his fetish and actually want to introduce her to the people in his life. My sister has refused to talk to me for a week so far and calls me a horrible person, along with my parents joining in. First things first, OP, congratulations on your transformation and improving your health and lifestyle. That's like really difficult. So big congrats. Secondly, I don't know, man, like what is a feeder? This sounds like really terrible. If it's like they're trying to kill, obviously, you know, like, oh my god, what am I even saying? Your sister needs to break up with her boyfriend and needs to seek out help. Her boyfriend is like basically destroying her health even more. And why does she say that she likes her boyfriend's personality if they just sit and watch TV all day? Do you even know your boyfriend? Oh, he likes the same shows as me. Yeah, do you have another like bag of crisps? I don't know. This is so messed up. Let's read the comments. So, member of the jury number 1. Not the asshole. Your intentions were good, and this guy is sending off red flags for you. However, you gotta respect that your sister is an adult, I assume, and is going to make her own choices. All you can do is show her the proof from the feeder site, as one user suggested, and let her know you care about her. You think she deserves better, and you'll always be there for her. You could approach this much more lovingly. Tell her her boyfriend is only with her because of her fetish is not nice. Your sister must have good qualities. Telling someone to break up with their SO, especially if someone hasn't had an SO before and is insecure about getting another one, pretty much never works, no matter who is right. Good insight. Wow, I want this person in my jury. She's going to have to sort this out for herself. Say your piece, make peace, and try to keep a good relationship with her so you can be there for her when this finally falls apart. And pick up the pieces. That's what she's trying to prevent. She's trying to prevent the massive falling apart into worse. She's trying to rip the band-aid off instead of waiting for it to fall off and get stuck in the shower drain. So then you have to declog your shower. Terrible metaphor, but I liked you in the first half. This one, yeah. Jury member of the jury number 2. Not the arsehole. You definitely could have been a bit more delicate, as during an argument was a wrong move, but you did need to tell her eventually. She needs to see the proof. Yeah. Also, the way she takes out her insecurities on you is out of line. Yeah. Yeah. I deem you not the arsehole as well. And your sister needs help. The help is going to have to come from OP at the beginning, and then some like professional help as well, is what I would say. Yeah. Damn. Okay, stay sporty. That being said, I'm going to watch the F1 quali and then play some paddle. Cool. All right. Thanks for tuning into episode 6. Wow, still in the single digits, but not for long. All right. I hope to catch you in the next one. See ya.